You're welcome to another episode of A Talk with Ife. Today we'll be continuing the topic making mistakes. We'll be looking into the common mistakes people make. Number one, people make the mistake to think they can please everybody. I was also like that. You think people come into your life, you want to please them, but it's not possible. We can't please everybody. Some people don't just like you. Some people see you differently. Some people accept you. Some people are already in competition with you. So you can't please them no matter what you do. And some people, your chemistry and their chemistry don't go together. So you can't just please everyone. You try to do the right things at the right time to the right people, but still yet you can't please everybody. You need to have this at the back of your mind and don't make that mistake and think you go up and down everywhere pleasing people. It's not possible. Number two, don't make the mistake like I do or like I did by thinking that others think the way you do. That's not possible. That's not true. You are coming from a different background. You're coming from a different experience. They have their different experiences. They have their different cultures. So they think differently. For you, 1 + 1 is 2. For somebody else, 1 + 1 can be 11. So don't think that people think the way you do. Don't make that mistake. So meet them in their own place. Meet a child where a child is. Meet a man where a man is. Meet a woman where a woman is. And don't generalize people. Don't make that mistake to think that they are thinking the way you are or to generalize people. That's a mistake, a common mistake we all make, but it's not right. Let's try and change. Number 3, you tell me my mistake, don't tell others my mistake. We make the mistake that we don't tell people their mistakes. Sometimes we are afraid because not everybody take it good when we tell them their mistakes. And sometimes when people tell others their mistakes, they tell them to criticize them or to put them down. But then we make the mistakes to go and tell other people about their mistakes. No, that is wrong. Tell me about my mistake. Don't tell somebody else about my mistake, because I am the one that should correct my mistakes. What we need to be careful about is that when I'm telling somebody about their mistakes, I must know the right timing and the right tone. I normally, when my kids do something wrong and I want to tell them what they did wrong, I always start by saying, you do this right and you do this right, but, to make them not to feel so bad, for them to be able to catch up, or for me to be able to catch them up when I'm telling them about their mistakes. So it's good to tell people about their mistakes so that they can become better people, not to put them down. So watch your tone, watch the timing, but please do tell people about their mistakes. Please do tell me when I make mistakes. It helps that person becomes a better version of themselves. Number 4, is it true that loud people make more mistakes? It's just like celebrities. Because they are popular, because people know them, when they make mistakes, when they have failed marriages or they have failed investments, everybody knows about it. Everybody knows their mistakes. Everybody counts their mistakes. But when they're not popular, when mainly has to do with somebody that is not popular, nobody knows about their mistakes. But each person makes the same kind of mistakes. I asked the cross section of people the mistakes that they regret most. And I realized that the mistakes that they regret most were so painful for them that they find it difficult to talk about. You could see their hurt, you could see their pain, you could see the regret in them about the mistakes. I personally, when I look at my life and look at the mistakes I have made, I have 1 or 2 mistakes that I see that I really regret, and to an extent you still feel the pain. And I realize also that if you don't talk about these mistakes that we really regret, it continues to haunt us. It continues to pain. It is a pain. It pulls us back. So I know that it's difficult maybe to talk to somebody about it, but it would be nice to talk to a bird somewhere that would take it away, to talk to somebody, maybe somebody that you trust, or somebody that you don't see all the time, or someone that you will never see again, just to get the pain away. So it was really difficult to get someone to really talk about the mistakes that they regret the most. Generally speaking, people have regrets in their relationships, in their career, in their investments, and in their health. And relationship was on the topmost. They have regrets of things they did with their fathers, with their mothers, with their husbands, with their wives, with friends. Situations whereby it's so difficult to talk about because it affects the other person till now. People have made investment in things that they regret because it brought them from glory down to grass. People in their health, they've taken maybe drugs to reduce their weight, and it has caused health problems. Or some people, they went into surgery to make them look better, and those things didn't work out well. So they've made these mistakes, these health mistakes that they are regretting, and they wished they never had them. But today I'll also be talking about, as a parent, what are the most mistakes that parents regret, and as couples, as spouses, what are the most mistakes that couples regret. These are the 5 mistakes parents regret the most about their relationship with their children. Number 1, some parents, they feel that they should give their children all the things they did not have as kids for them to be better. That is not true. That's a mistake. Just because you didn't have those things doesn't mean that you did not get to where you're supposed to be. Maybe you might feel you could have gotten higher, but sometimes the challenges we face takes us even to where more than where we aspire to be. So you saying, oh, I did not get all these things as a child, I will give my children all those things, it's not the best ideology. You give your child what they need. What you needed when you were a kid might be totally different from what your kid needs. It doesn't make them better. You understand? So you give your child what they need now. You understand? So don't make that mistake. Secondly, some parents make the mistake of telling their children, taking some things from their children in order to make them independent. It is your responsibility as a parent to give your child all they need. The things they want, you can discuss it, but all they need, you are supposed to give to them. You don't say, I want my child to be independent, then they must do this and this and this themselves. No, the things that they need is your responsibility as a parent to give. I always tell my children about this drunkard father. There was a father that is a drunkard. He had 2 children, two boys. At the end of the story, one boy became a drunkard and the other boy became a successful person. And both of them were asked, the drunkard was asked, why did you become a drunkard? He said, oh, look at my father is a drunkard, or that was a drunkard. The same question was asked to the second son that was successful. How come he became successful? He said, look at my father was a drunkard and I didn't want to be a drunkard. So both of them, they had the same driving force, but they used it differently. So your children, they need a basis. They need their needs to be met. You give them their needs and pray that they work with it to be who they need to be. Number 3, parents, they regret that they did not spend enough time with their kids. Childhood goes so fast. You think you have time, you don't have time. Before you know, they are already teenagers. Before you know, your kids are leaving home. So those of you that still have small kids, those of you that are yet to be parents, make plan to spend time with your kids. Make that plan to spend time with your kids. It's very important, because when it goes, it's gone. You can't get it back. You regret something because you cannot get it back again. And it is the time you spend with your kids that you bond with them. So a lot of parents, they regret, if I had known I could have spent more time with my kids. So don't regret it. Don't make that mistake. Create time to spend one-on-one with your kids. Number 4, parents compare their kids with other kids a lot, and that's a mistake. We'll go out to see the way other kids are. We'll come back home and start saying, why you not like this, why you not like that. It's not the best thing. Each child is different. Each child has their strength. Each child has their weaknesses. So it's not right for us to go out and come back and start comparing our kids to other kids. It's good, you can go out and learn something from other people. That's very important. But just to come and compare and make our children to feel bad and bring them down is a big mistake that we're going to regret, because you don't give your kids the confidence that they need to grow. So please don't make that mistake. Let your kids be your kids. Compare your kids with your kids. Let them be a better version of themselves. Where they are weak, encourage them to have more strength in those places, but don't compare them with other kids. Okay, number 5, and this applies to me. Parents, you don't have to be angry and loud to be effective parents. We shout and shout and shout, and we tell our kids, hey, you're making me shout. No, you are deciding to shout. You can communicate what you want them to know without shouting. I do that a lot. I'm trying. Sometimes you forget, you get angry and you still shout. But it's a mistake. It doesn't bring anything. It doesn't make you to be effective. So let's stop making that mistake. Let's learn to communicate ourselves without shouting, without being loud. Coming over to the mistakes that couples make. 1, marrying only for love. Love is very important. Love is one of the foundations of relationships and marriages, but love is not the only factor. It's just like cooking. Salt makes the food, the soup, the stew, the food sweet, but salt is not the only ingredient you need to cook that soup. So when we go into relationships, when we go into marriages only based on love, that is a mistake. We need to check other characters like patience, or that person is kind, that person is gentle. All those other foundations are also important, not only love. So, but a lot of us, we go into marriage, we go into relationship, not only based on love. And that is a mistake that a lot of us do. So let's be careful. Let's look at other things apart from mistakes. Number 2, just like our kids, we couples will compare ourselves. We'll go to somebody's house, we'll see their husbands, maybe carrying the baby. We'll say, oh my God, you come back home and you quarrel with your own husband or you quarrel with your partner while they're not doing the same thing. But you're only seeing one side of a character, one side of the story. You don't know how the person deals with money. You don't know how the person deals with his friends. You don't know how the person deals with the family of the spouse. You don't know these other things. You only see one part of it, and you come back home and you want to make problem. So we compare, and it's a mistake. Just like our kids, we should check the flaws of our partners and we try and improve on them, but we don't start comparing them with people outside. Number 3, couples make the mistake of avoiding tough conversations. When there's problem in a home, when there's problem in a relationship, and all we do is talk about how good the weather is, what are you going to eat, we go nowhere. We need to go down to the tough things, to the things that matters, to the things that cause that problem. But most of the time we make the mistakes of avoiding that issue, because we feel when we talk about that issue, when we deal with that issue, it will explode and maybe it will cause more problem. But the truth is, if it's going to cause a problem, it's already causing a problem. So the risk you are taking to deal with the issue is to make it better or to bring out the issue the way it is. So most of the time we make that mistake of avoiding tough discussions, tough issues, tough conversation, and it's not nice. Number 4 mistakes that couples regret is not consciously making time for themselves. Just like I said, love is not the only thing. We need to consciously make time for ourselves. And most of us, if not all of us, we are guilty of this. We live our daily lives and we don't even make conscious effort to spend time with our partners, and before you know, 10 years is gone, 20 years is gone, and we don't have a good relationship because we don't spend that time with our partner. We need to make conscious efforts to spend time. That's a very big mistake that we always make. Then number 5 that most couples, most spouses make, we think only of ourselves. When there's a problem, we think of ourselves. Oh, you did this to me, you did this to me. Or when we are making plans, we make plans for ourselves, but we are no longer on our own. We are a couple. You are in a relationship with somebody. You need to think about the other person. But that is human being. As human being, we are selfish. We protect ourselves. We want to take care of ourselves first. But if we want the best out of a relationship, we need to think about the other person. Okay, lastly, kids, they make the mistake to think that their parents were never kids. You know, they do things, and when their parents don't say anything, or their parents close their eyes to it, they think their parents don't know. If you don't know, your parents, they were kids. It can be 100 years ago. It can be that the technology have changed, things have changed, but the basics still remain the same. Okay, your parents were kids also. That's all for today. Please make your comments, give me your experiences, like my video, share my video, visit my Instagram site and my Facebook site. Till the next time, by Talk with Ify, keep it simple. Bye.